Listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see relationships forever. Most men never grasp this truth. They beg, they chase, they drown in desperation, wondering why she moved on so easily. But here's the explosive reality she'll never admit. The moment you truly disappear, not in weakness, but in absolute strength, is the moment her entire perception of you shatters. She'll tell herself she's fine. She'll pretend it doesn't matter until one night she's alone with her thoughts and it hits her like a freight train. You weren't just another option. You were the man she underestimated. And by then, it's too late. You've already evolved beyond her reach. If you've ever felt disposable, if you've ever wondered whether she truly misses you, stop right now. What comes next isn't just game-changing, it's life-changing. Because I'm going to expose the 3 psychological triggers that force her to confront the cold, hard truth. She didn't just lose you. She lost the best version of you she'll ever know. And if you think this is about playing games, you've missed the point entirely. This is about awakening a version of yourself so powerful, so unshakable, that her regret becomes irrelevant. The clock is ticking. She's already wondering where you went. But here's the real question. Will you still care when she finally figures it out? Don't click away, because in the next few minutes you'll discover exactly how to turn your pain into the greatest power move of your life. Let's get something straight. Regret doesn't strike when you're weak. It doesn't creep in when you're pleading, when you're desperate, when you're still orbiting her world like a satellite that lost its signal. No, regret hits her hard when she looks at you and realizes with a sinking clarity that you didn't just survive without her, you thrived. That's the moment her stomach drops. That's the moment she starts replaying every memory, every conversation, every time she took you for granted. Now, why does this happen? It's not just about ego or jealousy. It's deeper than that. Human psychology is wired to notice absence more than presence. Think about it. You don't appreciate the comfort of a chair until it's gone. You don't miss the warmth of the sun until winter comes. And she won't miss you, not truly, until she sees that you've become something beyond what she thought you were without her. But here's the critical insight. Her regret isn't about you, it's about her. It's about her realizing that she misjudged your value, that she underestimated your capacity to rise, that she assumed you'd crumble and instead you rebuilt yourself into something stronger. And that's what stings. Because now she has to confront the fact that she let go of someone who was far more capable than she believed. And let's be honest, most men don't do this. Most men wallow, they linger in the past, they beg, they try to negotiate their way back into her affections, and in doing so, they confirm her worst assumption, that without her, they're nothing. But you're different. You understand the power of strategic withdrawal. You recognize that the best response to loss isn't to chase, it's to evolve. So how do you make this real? How do you ensure that when she looks your way, she sees a man who's not just moving on, but transcending? First, stop giving her free attention. Every text you send, every social media post you react to, every indirect attempt to remind her you exist, that's currency. And you're spending it on someone who's already decided you're not worth keeping. Instead, redirect that energy inward. Build your body, your mind, your purpose. Let her hear about you through the grapevine. Let her see the changes in you from a distance. Second, become someone she doesn't recognize. Not in a performative way, not as some act to make her jealous, but because you owe it to yourself. Upgrade your habits, your discipline, your ambitions. When she finally catches a glimpse of you, whether in person or through the filtered lens of social media, she should feel like she's looking at a stranger. Not because you've changed superficially, but because you've grown in ways she can't comprehend. And third, Let silence do the heavy lifting. The more you say, the less she feels. The more you chase, the less she reflects. But when you disappear, when you become a ghost in her life, that's when her mind starts filling in the blanks. That's when she starts questioning her choices. That's when she starts missing you. Now, here's the hard truth. None of this works if you're doing it for her. If your growth is just a performance to win her back, she'll sense it. Women have a radar for desperation. But if you're doing it for you, if you're rebuilding yourself because you refuse to be defined by someone else's rejection, then something profound happens. You stop caring whether she misses you or not, and that's when she really starts to wonder. So ask yourself, are you still stuck in the past, begging for scraps of her attention? Or are you out there in the world, becoming the kind of man she'll look at one day and think, damn, I had that and I let it go. The choice is yours. But remember, regret is a dish best served by the one who walked away. Let her taste it. There's an old saying, empty vessels make the most noise. And it's true, when you're constantly reaching out, constantly trying to prove your worth, constantly filling the space between you with words and pleas and explanations, what you're really doing is diminishing your value. Because here's the psychological truth. People don't long for what's readily available. They long for what's just out of reach. They long for what they can't have. And the moment you make yourself too accessible, the moment you drown the silence with your need for resolution, you kill the mystery. You kill the longing. You kill the very thing that could have made her miss you. So let's talk about strategic silence. This isn't about playing games. This isn't about manipulation. This is about understanding how the human mind works, how attachment works. When you disappear, when you stop feeding her ego with your attention, something fascinating happens. Her brain, which had grown accustomed to your presence, starts to notice the absence. And the human mind hates unresolved questions. It hates unfinished stories, so it starts filling in the gaps. Why hasn't he reached out? Is he doing okay? Does he not care anymore? And with each passing day of silence, those questions grow louder. That's when she starts chasing, not you. That's when she starts wondering, not you. The critical distinction. You're not doing this to punish her. You're doing this because silence is the only environment where real growth can happen. Think about it. When you're constantly reacting, constantly trying to fix things, constantly seeking validation from someone who walked away, you're stuck in a loop. You're spinning your wheels. But when you step back, when you let the silence settle, that's when you finally hear yourself. That's when you start asking the real questions. Who am I without her? What do I actually want? What kind of man do I need to become? And that's where the power is. Because while she's wondering why you've gone quiet, you're rebuilding. While she's questioning her choices, you're leveling up. While she's stuck in the past, you're moving forward. And that imbalance, that asymmetry, is what creates real change. Now let's be clear, silence isn't passive. It's not just not talking. It's redirecting your energy. It's taking all that frustration, all that longing, all that wasted effort you were pouring into someone who didn't value it and investing it in yourself. Hit the gym, dive into your work, reconnect with old friends, travel, learn a new skill. Build something meaningful, because here's the thing. Silence is only powerful if you're using it to become someone strong. If you're just sitting around waiting for her to text, then all you've done is trade begging for sulking. And that's not growth, that's stagnation. But when you pair silence with action, that's when the magic happens. Because now, if she ever does reach out, if she ever breaks the silence, She's not meeting the same man she left. She's meeting someone new, someone calmer, someone more grounded, someone who doesn't need her to feel whole. And that's the moment she realizes she might have made a mistake. Of course, by then, it won't matter. Because you've already moved on. You've already outgrown the person who thought she could live without you. And that's the ultimate power of silence. It doesn't just make her miss you. It makes you miss her less. So ask yourself, are you still filling the void with noise? Or are you letting the silence do its work? The choice is yours. But remember, the loudest message you can send is the one you never say out loud. Let's examine a fundamental truth about human nature. We rarely appreciate what we have until it's gone. But there's a deeper layer to this phenomenon that most people miss. The realization often comes